When it comes to writing business school essays, particularly successful ones, there's always this tension there. On the one hand, you hear about how creative they have to be, how wonderful, how great pieces of writing they are, and they are. On the other hand, there's sort of this tactical piece of it.
Here's my goal on the other side of the river, and the school is the bridge that's going to get me there. If the goals don't work, the bridge can't be built.
I hear clients all the time, what's my brand for my MBA application?
Yeah. It's an oversimplification. A brand works for Tide.
You've got all these stories and these different facets of yourself you want to show. Where are you going to get the most out of them, and how do you put it all together?
Kill your darlings. This notion here, if you're going to try to start writing something, your first draft is probably not going to be that great. You may fall in love with words. It's time for you to really rethink, what do you want to communicate?
Essay. Just the word itself strikes fear in the hearts of some MBA applicants. Why? Because many applicants haven't written anything creative, possibly since college, or maybe even high school, or maybe even ever. One of my favorite essays of all time, it's written by an Eastern European individual, and it's about his hunt for truth. And it is an extremely risky essay. The opening paragraph is about how he asked to be removed from the baptismal book of the church because in his country, which was a very religious country, because he didn't believe in God and felt like it was untrue to himself. And I think that that's like a
bold statement.
It's a bold statement, right? And then, like, I worked with this applicant. I love this applicant. It's true to who he was and who he is. Right. He's someone who really is on a quest for truth. He got into Harvard and Stanford, and yet, like, it was still he didn't get into one or two other schools. It was still a very risky proposition. So sometimes it's just, you can write something that is fantastic, that is extremely compelling to one person, that isn't compelling to another. And that's the nature of this process. That's why they have the essays, because there's qualitative information. And so, we're going to talk, I think, generally speaking, about what makes something compelling, but ultimately, there's a little bit of randomness. It's up to the individual who's reading it on that day to determine whether it's compelling.
That authenticity factor too, right? I mean, you want to be strategic about what you're saying and how you're saying it, and be well written and concise and all of those things. But the clients who try really hard to sort of game the system or to think about what this school is looking for and how can I fit that mold, that invariably falls flat.